Hey guys, it's Sam at Callaham Guitars, and I'm back at the workbench today to show you all how to restore a set of aging Tele saddles. So Tele saddles actually have an extremely long lifespan and just require simple maintenance to keep them from breaking strings and performing as they should. So I'm going to show you how you can go about getting rid of any of the damage that's occurred, as well as some of the corrosion and everything that happens from normal play and use. So to begin with, we'll gather our materials here. So you need a fine grit sandpaper in order to take the damage out. And actually, as you can see on the workbench here, the best place to find some fine grit sandpaper for you guys that are just hobbyists is to head out to a local drugstore, snag some of these nail files. They come in various grits. You can see this one, we've replaced the standard stuff with 1000 grit sandpaper on the backside. This one's nearly an 800, and then it's got about a 600 on this side. So you have your various grits. This one's pretty cool. It's also a combination of, so we go from coarse to fine, and then this is super fine here. This is pushing about a 1200 grit sandpaper. So you don't need all those options, but you do want to get something that gives you the ability to cut away any of the damage you have, as well as smoothing it down to being nearly ready for polish. Speaking of polish, we also have some polishing compound here available at most any general store that has automotive stuff. This is the type of thing you'd use for wheels and chrome, things like that. And some cotton cloth. So once you've got everything together here, I'll go ahead and get zoomed in on these saddles and show you guys some of the damage and how we're going to correct it. So these are off of a left-handed Tele, so they're going to look slightly different than what you guys are accustomed to, but the process is the same nonetheless. Our goal here is just to remove any of the burrs and grooves that have formed from the strings over time, and that's really easy to do. Just a few things to keep in mind while you're doing it is to work slowly and not alter the geometry of the saddles themselves. You do not want to change the intonation of your guitar, so you want to make sure that the angles that are on the saddles remain just as they should, and that any portion that's round stays round and any portion that's flat should stay flat. So make sure you're just taking material off evenly as you go around. Depending on the severity of the damage, it will depend on what sandpaper you go with first. I wouldn't recommend going any lower than a 600 to get your initial burrs out, and then you're obviously going to work your way up. In our case, I'm pretty confident we can start with our 800. So again, keeping in mind, keep what's flat flat and what's round round. I'm just going to start working my way on this thing. And you can see that's pulling any of the old corrosion right off of there, and we're exposing some nice shiny brass. Rather than bore you to death with this whole process, I'll cut and I'll come back to it when I have this first saddle done. So I have my first saddle done here. You guys can see nearly all of the corrosion is gone. Any of the damage across the top here has been pretty well taken care of. There's still some tiny little grooves, but nothing really worth worrying about. So the next step will be to polish it out, and I'll show you that when I get zoomed out here. So I put about a pea-sized dab of polishing compound onto this cotton cloth, and I'm just gonna give it a shine. So I've just switched rags and done some fresh compound on here just to give it one final polish before we wrap up this video. And you can see that saddle is back in business. So just repeat the process on your other two, and you should be in really good shape. I want to thank you guys for watching. This is obviously not the process that we use here at Callaham Guitars, but we wanted to give you guys some information for those of you that don't have specialized equipment and don't feel like going out and buying a buffing wheel just to tune up your saddles every few years. So go pick up some files, go pick up some buffing compound, and get your Teles tuned up. Thanks for watching. We appreciate your business, and we appreciate your views.